Okay, now if you take a look, where I'm going to end up grabbing on this bike is basically right here on this frame, just in front of this this rear foot peg, and then I'm going to grab down on this frame here. What I'm trying to do is that when I lock in, it's basically going to be the depth of my arm, so right about where the elbow is. The idea is that when I lock in, all those are is clamps. So I'm not using upper body strength, I'm not using arm strength. I just want to make sure that when I push, I don't get pushed over the bike. If I grab too high and I'm up here, then I'm up and over the bike. And that's not going to work for me. So I have to get down low into the bike, and then I can put my chest in. So see the way I come down inside and I'm pressing the chest into the motorcycle. And then from here, what I do is I push into the motorcycle. Now once I push in, I'm just pushing forward. So I'm not actually lifting the bike. So to give another idea, if you come around to this side over here, don't worry, it's okay, it's not my bike. All right, come on over here. Okay, so again, just to get a better idea of what's going on with the lower body, and I'm not lifting up, I'm pushing in. My wife thinks I'm strong because I do this. I'm not. I'm just really good at leverage. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm down on the knees, which is why I have green pants. We're doing the demo, it works out really well. And I'm going to lock in, again, that same location at the rear foot peg. Back on the frame here, you'll see where the arms are. Again, my skinny little stick arms here. But once I go here, I'm chested. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my body in so I have a nice straight low back. If you've ever done deadlifts, you don't lift with your back, you force your hips forward. So it's really pressing the forward. That way you're using the core and the lower legs. So once I come to here, what I'm doing is pushing my hip in. You see how that works? So I'm not actually lifting, I'm pushing across. So he's my target, so that's where I'm going to. So once again, from here, and what I do is I press my hip in, and then from here, you'll see I'm pushing into the motorcycle. So I'm not lifting. Once the bike comes up to balance, then we're in good shape. Right? Once the bike's up in balance, we can get up, and we can do whatever we want. This is not the easiest way to get the bike up. The easiest way is when you fall. So if you're on the bike, and the bike falls, and you're like, oh no! Oh no! Oh, I think I hurt my back. Oh, I'll just lay here for a while. If you lay here long enough, everybody will get very uncomfortable. They'll pick their bike up for you. So that's actually the most effective way, but it doesn't always. Make sure you get a picture of this, Trevor, because this is really cool here. Anyways, but that's actually the most effective way. The other way is find a couple of friends. Now, when you look at the people you ride with, this method was actually developed, I was doing women-only camps. Women generally don't have as much upper body strength, but what they do is they're like fish and they school together. So they never ride alone. There's always a whole school of them going. So I went, okay, well now how do we use that asset to get them up? We went, well, what we need to do is do some counterweight. So I'm going to start off with a couple of volunteers. Come on in here. Thanks for volunteering. Really appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to have you towards the back. So what we're going to do is he's going to stand on this rim. So he's going to go 2 feet here. He's going to grab a hold of the bike, hold the frame, and he's going to put his butt out. Now, you do not do anything until your butt hits the ground. Because his first instinct is when the bike starts to come up, he's going to want to come up with it. We don't want to do that. So you stay there until the bike, actually we're going to go the other side maybe because then we don't want to throw it over ourselves. But, all right, so go to your butt. I need to know, where's my other volunteer that didn't know he was a volunteer? Where'd you go?
Ollie?
I pointed at you earlier. Where are you at?
Me? It's not me.
All right, I'll grab a new one. You're in.
Lolly.
All right, perfect. I'm glad you're paying attention. That's cool. All right, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to go 1 foot here.
You're going to do the lifting.
You're going to go 1 foot here, and you can just hang back like this. Now we're going to start from this position, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and you guys just drop back. Got it? Understand? All right, so we're going to do this just as a test run real quick before I join in. So one there, so you're all the way up on the bike, all the way up on the bike. So here, grab down low. So we're going to make sure you guys don't fall off the bike. So up, so butts in, and 1, 2, 3, back. Okay, now you guys, we got to work on coordination. Ready? Okay, and 1, 2, 3, back. Perfect. All right, now you guys ready to do this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, back. Okay, now that's a much easier way to get the bike up. People are a whole lot less likely to actually get injured if you're actually using the counterweight. Now the reason I mention that is because usually you don't have the ideal helpers to do that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. What happens, you end up with fewer of them. So what we'll do is we're going to turn this around and we're going to go this way, because why not? You're all on that side now. We're going to do this one more time. So come on in here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, no, I want you. I already sucked him in. He's hiding now. He's much smarter. All right, so we'll do the same thing. So let's make sure this thing's in here. There we go. So same thing. You'll always want to make sure you're up on the rim, guys. Don't let your feet be down on the ground, because the whole idea is the counterweight. You want to put as much weight into this as possible. When I teach the classes, we'll do this as part of the school. We get to pick up the bike on our own once. The rest of the time, we always team lift. Right? The last thing we need is for people to get hurt or to burn up energy, because I'm all about being lazy. And there's always a team there, so why not just jump in and help out? So that's what happens here. So you're going to be 1 foot here, same thing. You're just going to kind of hang back like this. All right.
Thought the tire on.
That was exciting. All right, who wants to try to lift it? Do you think you can lift this? I don't know. We're going to find out. Come on over here. So you're going to come around to this side. Now you're going to lift. So what you'll end up doing is, again, reach down. You'll feel about here. So down on the knees, all the way to the knees. So on the other side, you'll reach underneath with this arm here, and you'll reach back until you reach that spot. So reach, 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 reach. You feel where the metal is?
Yes.
Okay, now the other spot is going to be this frame on the opposite side. So reach underneath the bike until you find that frame. Do you find those two pieces?
Yes.
It's a beautiful place to lock in. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you want to get your knees forward, because you need to have room, and you'll be on your knees.
Okay, on my knees.
Because you're going to thrust your hip forward. That's the idea to do that.
Okay.
And we're going to go and see how this works. Now, this bike weighs 400,000 pounds when fully fueled. 400,000. And go ahead and lift it up for us, would you? Thank you very much. Very much appreciate that. How hard was it?
Not bad.
Okay. Now, on the lifting technique, we have one improvement to work on. One thing you were doing, you were still thinking of lifting. You were going up. We don't do that. We push into the bike. So anytime you do this, you want to push through the machine. So your focus should be the same height as where you are. So let's go ahead and try this again. Who else do we have that wants to try this? You want to try it? Come on over here. Fantastic. I like that. We need some help.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you
By yourself.
All right. So same thing. So you're going to reach around underneath.
Push through the
Okay.
bike.
So reach down underneath. You'll feel where this is here. Do you feel that frame? Way underneath. Actually, you might be right about here. Try that. You want to make it so your arms are right against the seat. Now, when we go to do this, you remember, you're not going to lift up. You're going to push your hip forward. I need a couple of helpers over here.
I'll do it.
Tim, why don't you go
You got
with
it?
your son?
Can I help?
I'm gonna get on the
That's
rear
my
wheel.
son, so.
I'd
like to get a picture with him.
Absolutely.
How-
absolutely.
how-
Okay, so I'm
how
gonna
old
get
are you,
set in
bro?
position. I bet you got some
11.
experience with this. So what we're going to have you do this. You already know what's going on here. So let's go and put one on the wheel here. I'm going to have you in the middle. You're going to
Okay.
take my position. I'm not doing it this time, right? I'm out of here. It's too much work. Remember? Lazy. I've got to stop doing this. So you're going to put 1 foot here and one on the rim.
Hold on.
So you're up on the bike itself. You're going to go from here. And Dad, you're going to be up here in the middle. They're going to need some help. Put one foot out here on the side stand, one on the frame. Grab a hold of whatever you can where you can throw your butt back. Guys, it's okay. Make sure let your butts hit the ground. Start with your weight in. And on the count of 3, we all do a lift. Drop your butts back all at once. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Back. Fantastic.
Good job, buddy. Easy, right?
Okay.
All right, now there's you all right? Need some help down
I'm
there.
just tall.
All right, perfect. Now, there are some other different lifting techniques. One of those others is squat lift. It's not one that I do a lot, but it depends where you are. The neat thing about being off-road is our environments are all very different. And so, again, it's all right, it's on my bike. Okay, so when you do this lift, keep in mind that we're often on hills. We may be on an incline. We could be pinned up against a rock. So there's different situations or different lifts depending where you are. One of those is just a deadlift. The deadlift is very easy. It's just about grabbing a bar up high and grabbing a handlebar here. This is my most common lift. This is how I normally lift the bike. It's essentially the same idea. I'm still pushing across, but I don't do it for my knees. So this is the same thing where we do a hip thrust. So I'm holding on the bars here, I hold here. You'll see from the back side, I'm already leaning across the motorcycle. What this does is, he's my goal, that's where I'm looking. So from here, I just walk up and across the bike. See how I have control of that bike? And once it gets into balance, then we're in a good spot. So that's actually probably my favorite lift. And if you take a look at that, the most important thing is the reason I don't do the traditional back lift. And that is because, number one, protect your back. And all of these lifts keep your low back very, very straight. So when you do this, you'll notice, watch my back. So when I put that leg back behind me and one forward, my back is perfectly straight. When I go from here, I'm pushing across, back is straight all the way. So all I'm doing is walking into the motorcycle. You see how that works? So that's a really good way to do it. One of the other lifts I do this lift less often, but it's also very effective. This works a lot more on smaller bikes. You'll find when they're riding these smaller bikes like Moscow Moto over here, they've got all these smaller, lighter bikes. And this is a more common lift for lighter bikes. And it's just a bar end lift. What you end up doing is turning the handlebars away from you, and you get down underneath the handlebar. And it's really a squat is what you're doing. So you're just going straight down, and the idea is to come straight up. And then once you're into it, then you can step forward. Try to use as little upper body as possible from here. So again, from here, I've got this bar end, it's plastic. So I got one on the inside, one underneath, because that's really just a place to lock in. I'm not lifting with the upper body. I get up close to the bike, that way I can go straight up. And then once I'm up, I can push into the bike, and then I'm balanced. So those are a couple of the different ways to lift. There are some other methods using straps. Turns out when I do the tours and training tours, I actually have a winch on my bike. Turns out when they're upside down on the wrong side of the hill, the issue isn't riding it, the issue is getting it back upright. And so certainly there are other ways to get around this when you get more challenging environments. But the biggest thing, and the reason I wanted to show this is, guys, you got to think about motorcycling different. Sometimes you got to question what you've heard and question what you see and hear. And when you see everybody doing the back lift, don't just follow everything for what it is. Go, why? How is that efficient? How can I be more efficient? Does that protect me? And that should go to everything you do within riding. If you're a street rider, you're off-road rider, whether you're taking a formal class or whether you're doing something online or watching YouTube. I mean, come on guys, you can't trust anybody on YouTube, right? That's just, it's a terrible idea, okay? But the idea is to always question what you think you know. Because when you think you know something is when you become dangerous. Because you stop questioning. You stop understanding, you stop growing, you stop changing. I just recently did a video on ABS off-road. Everybody knows that's a terrible thing. You should always turn ABS off-road. And it turns out that's not actually true. Modern ABS, even road ABS, was stopping better than experts in the dirt. And off-road ABS is fantastic. These are all less than 5-year-old technology. So what that means is that things change. New techniques are found, new technology changes, bikes change, and we need to stay fluid in our thoughts and our beliefs. Don't settle into what you know. Question it. Question everything. With that said, my name is Bret Tkacs. If you forget how to spell it, it's up on the flags. I appreciate you guys coming out here. If I do these on my own, I really feel pathetic. So I'm really happy that you all came to join me, do this with me. I do have some stickers with me. If you're a channel fan, I'll make sure you guys get a couple of those. See, I have to be done now because I've reached my fatigue level, and that's too much work to keep doing this. So I'm done. Thank you. Go see other stuff. Enjoy the show. Goodbye.